Hello there Internet, Mr. Welch here, and welcome back to the Stanley Parable. This time we're going to do something I'm personally against, and we're going to follow
All
directions.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I've never actually seen the specified end for the game.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The, I suppose, quote-unquote, actual one. So let's follow the narrator. I'm yours, Big N. What do you want?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might
The last
find
one
an
was
answer
good.
there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
What's wrong with the textures there? I thought he was going to say something different, but I guess not.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Stairs to the boss's office. You got it. I need to use the bathroom. Oh, I see. It's executive only. That's how we're going to be. Meh.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley
Nice
wondered
office.
in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the
I
keypad
read
behind the
in
boss's
review
desk guarded the terrible truth
that there were
his boss had been keeping from
many
him.
endings.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Many endings. That's more than a few, but less than a bunch. So I'm excited to see them all. Really, I am. What was that number? I missed it.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
2458.
Two, 845.
Got it.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input
Oh,
the
that's
correct code by sheer luck.
Sheer luck.
Amazing.
Yep.
He stepped into the
I'm the
newly
coolest.
opened passageway.
Bang. Whee! This is a slow elevator. I know where 3 more endings are, counting this one, and I have ideas about where others might be, so I'm hopeful.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Very nice, I must say.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
What the hell is going to be in here? Phew, ominous. Lights.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
My God,
What
packed.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I don't have the strength. Oh my God, I'm scared. No, I guess I do have the strength. Or at least I am lacking the strength to leave. Can I turn out the lights? That'd be kind of funny. Looked like that clipboard might have said something significant, but I guess not.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their
Whoa.
true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley one of them, eternally
Which one?
monitored in this place,
Is it
where
that one?
freedom meant nothing.
Another button. Button.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
It's over there
Was
somewhere.
this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Employee number 427. There I am. There I am. There's mine. Yeah, that's my office.
No. He
No.
refused to believe it.
Yeah.
He couldn't accept it.
I don't.
His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Oh,
it
haha.
was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Wow, you're so funny,
Here was
narrator.
the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began
this up
to
here?
sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yeah, totally. But first I gotta see what's up here. See, this is 4. It's just a button that says 4. Console disabled. What's through here? It looks like there might be something through here. Mind controls are awaiting. Mind controls idle, awaiting input. Aw, man. I should have known the mind control thing ran on DOS.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Later. It's dark. Narrator. I followed your instructions. Am I gonna die again?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Yes?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
But
Unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Oh.
Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
impressive
Where had his
effect there.
co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Scenic.
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Man, is there something else I can do? Let me just make sure. Just making sure you never. I'm not taking any chances with this. I'm gonna find every ending.
Stanley felt the cool
out of
breeze
control.
upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Hey, I finally beat the game after so much trial and error. All right. Let's go again. Because the end is never the end.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Yes, yes.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is that rain? Huh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
Yes,
doors,
yes.
he entered the door on his left.
We know.
Yet there was not a single person
Not a single person
either.
here. Nope.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Okay. Sorry.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, he didn't. Let's see what's down here. Is it magic? I don't think so.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that.
Yeah.
And in such a competitive economy,
Yeah.
why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished.
Silly.
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a
Well,
single moment.
that happens to a
no
lot of
reason
people.
at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Well, he's
Why
got
did
tiny
doors
feet.
close automatically behind him wherever he went?
They're very polite
And
doors.
for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Makes sense.
What a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone.
Duh.
He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Phew.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Yep.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Yeah.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too
Whoosh.
appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley,
Whoa.
who found it particularly strange.
That's
I'm dreaming about a voice describing
meta.
me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's
Ow.
ever been in his life.
Gonna turn around. That's it.
Now,
Oh.
hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt,
Worth a try.
that this was in fact a dream. Did the
Duh.
voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
Yeah.
This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming.
Okay.
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
This is good. Me like.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
It's a weird name.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Kind of pretty, though.
She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Jeez.
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew.
Obviously.
Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
That was a good one. I like that one. So, let's turn on a great big power generator machine thing. Except this isn't right. Narrator?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
When Stanley
that was
came
weird.
to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
Not a single person here
Feeling
either.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Come on. Ah, fine. Be that way,
Coming
jerk.
to a staircase,
Oh,
Stanley
wait a minute.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah. Okay, I'm all out of time, so in the next episode we'll turn on the mind control device. But until then, this is Mr. Welch, signing off.